Governor Beshear was flanked by two Kentucky State Police troopers, one the commissioner and the other a trooper who survived an ambush in Floyd County, as he announced his priorities. Beshear says that he wants a defined pension benefit again to troopers, along with an additional $2,500 pay raise. That's on top of the raises recently adopted by lawmakers. He also had Trooper Ball speak about the June 30th ambush in Allen in Floyd County. Ball survived being shot and was able to rescue another lawman because he was wearing body armor. Beshear says he wants a $20 million grant used for body armor.
Trooper Ball has shared that at first he wasn't even sure he'd been hit. And that was because the protective gear, the newest and best body armor that we'd been able to purchase, saved his life.
Law enforcement issues have been highlighted in this year's gubernatorial campaign. A few weeks ago, Republican candidate and Attorney General Daniel Cameron unveiled his public safety plan.
And unlike the governor, I'm not offering talking points and empty promises. I'm offering Kentuckians specific, hard-hitting solutions.
And Beshear says he is unveiling his budget priorities now earlier than normal because he said during the last budget cycle, the House leadership did the same thing as well, releasing their priorities before he had a say in what he wanted to do. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.